Yay. Okay, today I'm gonna do a book report. Yeah, you're gonna see my face. Yippee. Yeah, I got all my hair and stuff, so I don't really care. Anyway, I'm doing a book review on Eclipse, my wonderful book. I read it in like 4 days. Speed reader. The back says, in the dead silence, all the details suddenly fell into place for me, with a burst of intuition. Something Edward didn't want me to know, something Jacob wouldn't have kept from me. It was never going to end, was it? Pretty much the vampires get back at her because the dude got killed, and then she like formed an army and stuff. You can watch the movie. I think the movie kind of explains it. Here's the inside whatever thingy. Bella? Edward's soft voice came behind me. I turned to see him spring lightly up the porch steps, his hair with wind-blown ink from running. He pulled me into his arms at once, just like he had in the parking lot. He kissed me again. The kiss frightened me. There was too much tension, too strong of an edge. By the way, his lips crushed mine, like he was afraid we only had so much time left to us. I guess what she's trying to say is that she's kind of worried about Edward because he's acting funny. I think Edward's kind of that's just my point of vision, but I'm a little too. As Seattle is ravaged by a string of mysterious killings and a maniaculous vampire continues her request for revenge, Bella once finds herself against stranger. In the midst of it all, she's forced to choose between her love for Edward and her friendship with Jacob, knowing that her decision has potential to ignite the endless struggle between vampire and werewolf. With her graduation quickly approaching, Bella has one more decision to make, life or death, but which is which? So I guess she really wants to be a vampire so she could be with Edward for always. But now she's in a love triangle, which is stupid because she's in love with she's kind of into Jacob too, the hormonal wolf. Like in the beginning, it has a poem that she was using fire for the werewolf Jacob and ice for the vampire Edward. Pretty much Bella is a human, a really boring human, and she goes into this town that's really cool because her mom left to go with her dad somewhere. And anyway, so she left and she was going with her father, and so she goes to school. Wait, no, she like fell snowy and stuff out, and she doesn't have a car or anything. And so, Jacob, Jacob's father, Mr. Black, gets her a pickup truck, a red pickup truck that Jacob finished, and he had long hair in that one. I don't really like his long hair. Anyways, and so she drew that to school, but Jacob doesn't go to her school because he's an Indian and he goes to a reservation school. So yeah, and he's like in a high school, and she's like in college or something. I don't know. But she was all like, "Oh yay, I get a car, woo woo!" So she goes to the school, and the day's pretty normal, like everything's fine. And then she goes to lunch, and this dude their whole family walks in. They're like, "Who's that?" And then they're like, "That's the Colons." The Colons is Edward's family, and they're like this prestigious group of people, and the humans don't know that if they're vampire. They don't know that they're vampires, but they're like really into each other, and they're all brothers and sisters. But I don't know what her name was, but the girl was all like they're kind of creepy because they like to hang out. And then Edward walked in, and she was all like, "Who's that?" "That's Edward. Don't worry about him. I already tried. He just not going out for anyone." Hey, sorry, my computer's blanked out. Um, but then she got like all stressed out because she really liked him, and then they were into Christmas tree, and she sat down by him, and he was like all clenching and all scared of her or something, and he was like all mad at her or something, and then he like as soon as the bell rang, he ran out of the classroom and went to the counselor office to see if he could change classes, and then Bella walked in to see just to check in on the day, and Edward was all like, "Well, then I'll just have to live with it then," like all meanly, and then he ran out the door, like brushing her shoulder, and it was like really not nice. And then she walked out too because she was mad and sad and whatever. And then the next day, it was the same way, and it was like that for a little while. And then they did a lab, like a test, and he was like, "I'm sorry I was so rude earlier," and then he like apologized, and she was like, "Oh, that's okay, it's fine." That's pretty much it at Twilight. They just get really into it, and then they're like, "I know what you are. Say it. Say it." I bet if you search Twilight, you'll have like a whole bunch of stuff. That's probably where you got this. Eclipse. It's pretty much when they get married and have a kid. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. No, honest to goodness, they have a kid in this book. Jacob, he's a werewolf and everything. Well, he imprints with the baby. Yeah. So they're gonna get married. Oh yeah, and Bella gets to be a vampire. Oh, she has a superpower too. She can like shield people. It's really cool. Cause she was like in a fight with the bad guys. It's called like the Celsius whatever. It's like really bad vampires, and they have like red eyes and stuff. And she like shielded the whole group, and like this mist came over to them, and it like bounced off because of her. It was like actually kind of a cool part. You'll need to read the story, even if I just gave it away. You still need to read it because it's awesome. And plus, there's some sexy details.